can have mentors that are the best of the best. Like Joe Rogan's the best of the best. And he can be a mentor in your life instead of your teacher, right? Instead of your professor, whoever they may be, because they didn't do anything. Like how many professors actually go out and are like Joe Rogan successful? Like Alex Hormozi, like Iman Gadzhi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back in action with another juicy one. Iman Gadzhi. He's coming out with some bangers, dude. I got to say, the guy is taking over YouTube. He's taking over, not necessarily YouTube, maybe. How about the financial industry or like serious stuff? By the way, guys, this is episode 49 of the Riff Podcast. We're here giving you the information that you want to hear, that you need to hear, and trying to do it as authentic as possible. Trying to give you kind of our point of view on things. And specifically, this is what I want to talk about Iman Gadzhi. Okay, I actually on my main profile because how long he's probably been popping for, or like started coming into the space around like 2021, like late 2021. So 2 years probably now. And about a year ago, I made a video on him, kind of documenting his lifestyle and how he's kind of changing the frame of mind for like modern men. And it's done. It's the best video so far that the channel has done on the main channel. Obviously, this is the podcast. But so I've been following him for quite some time. And you see he releases, his method is very strategic in kind of the same way. And I know we talked about it with Mr. Beast, how he made YouTube into a business, right? He started treating it like a business where he invested the money that he made from AdSense, where like, you know, old guys, you would see, I don't know, let's just say PewDiePie, for instance. PewDiePie would take that money and he'd just keep them for himself, right? Like PewDiePie's setup and everything never changed, you know? Like, did you ever watch PewDiePie much?
I don't watch a lot, but you mean he's like keep for himself as in like not reinvest into something else? Like you're saying just...
Like what I'm saying is he never wanted to make it into a business. It just wanted to be him. Like that was the original YouTube, right? It was just you recording videos. And that's all he did. Where Mr. Beast, he was like, heck with it being YouTube. This is a platform of a business.
Yeah.
And he realized that you could make money from doing it. And so he put the money back in to build, to get editors, to get better mics, better cameras, all that sort of stuff. He just kept on reinvesting the money, which is what a business does.
Yeah, no, that's what we talked about not too long ago, like how the production value, just like production value of YouTube videos has gone up because of that. But like I saw some guy popped up on my feed the other day. His name is Skippy62able or something. It's LA Beast is what he calls himself. And he's kind of like a Steve Will Do It. Like you just always do like crazy, stupid challenges, like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I used to watch his videos all the time. And I saw him pop up. And I was like, oh God, I got to see what he's doing. So I click on one of the videos. It was from like 10 years ago. But it was just like a phone recording him in his kitchen for like 45 minutes straight of him doing this thing. I used to watch that and think he was like one of my favorite YouTubers.
Dude,
I'm like, dude, if you post that now, you're not going to get a single view.
Not any. I mean, look at the podcast, dude.
And it had 42 million views. I forgot to say, 42 million.
Oh, and that is what's insane. Because another guy I used to watch Minecraft all the time. It was 11 years ago because I looked yesterday because there's a new account that popped up. And I'm like, I want to show. I was with my girlfriend. And I was like, I want to show you like something that I used to watch when I was 12, 13 years old. I pulled up. His name's B-O-O. He still posts videos to this day because it's all Minecraft, right? He did like you can play that forever.
And does he have a face cam?
No, he doesn't have.
That's what's good for those people. Like they can be 60 years old and streaming
Minecraft.
Yeah,
and they're still ripping it. And they still put on shows. Like it's still a kid's show.
Yeah,
like it's still for 12-year-olds. And like I grew out of it, but I went back to watch that video. And I'm like, dude, this is terrible. Like it's not like me and you playing Minecraft together. Like how did I watch? Like us playing Minecraft together would have been more entertaining than watching this guy. Even though he's good at building, and maybe it was a different time for building back then, 11 years ago. Like you know whatever it was just I was like, dude, this now would be terrible. And it had like 1 million something views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand it. So times are changing. With that, Iman Gadzhi, I think, is leading that realm. He's leading what is the psychology of business into production form of YouTube videos. And so the way he creates his videos, he drops them like it's 3-part series, each one's 40 minutes long with a story and a narrative built up into that last video where I'm like, it's dropping Monday at 12 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, I want to watch it. I want to watch this video Monday at 12 o'clock. And I think the Nelk Boys did good at that, right? Where they would have a video every Monday, but there wasn't a storyline to a series of videos.
So I'm honestly surprised that does so well. Like the videos with the series, like what was the first big thing? It was like called, the Great
Reset.
Great Reset. Yeah.
So
like,
this one's the Great Rescue.
Yeah. See, so like when he did the Great Reset, even I watched like part of the first one, and it was like three-part thing, and I was like in my head, I was like, I also picture it as like a creator almost. Like when I see a three-part series, I'm like, they just want you to come back to their page 3 different times, and then like, and as I'm watching, I'm like, all right, I feel like he's already given a lot of information. Like I think he's gonna be repetitive in the next 2, so I don't even like. I never went back and watched the rest of those. I watched part of the first one. And I never really watched series either. So like, I just like when I pictured doing a series, I'm like, no, it just seems kind of like scammy or like almost like greedy to do it. But then it works. So
that's the different where you're right. It doesn't from a purely entertainment status, right? If you were to just purely entertain, then it's not going to do well. That's where Mr. Beast, right, where he doesn't do a series, he does each video is its own series in itself.
Yeah.
Right. So you can watch it individually and you don't have to come back. Whereas Iman Gadzhi is bringing more business into it, and he has a product to sell, which is education. So he does a series on how education is so bad. And so his alternative method of his own education is what's going to get you out of this bad situation.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the psychology of production, which he even talks about, basically indoctrination. Like in this series that he's talking about basically the education system and how it is indoctrinating the youth, us, into these ideas and beliefs that keep you locked up and keep you in this narrative. And he's researched and like has true, factual stuff. But once again, it is also propaganda from his point of view. Because like, then should we question him, right? Because he's saying basically like, question your authorities, the people who are telling you stuff. Why are they telling you this, right? But then again, you look at him and you're like, why is he telling me this?
Yeah.
Right? Why is he letting me know? Like everyone has their ulterior motives, and he talks about this in this like new series. But it relates closely to me, one, and I think you too, because a lot that we're looking at in this world is the fact that most people don't have critical thinking skills. Right? And not to say that me and you are like, above all, we're critical thinkers, but we've talked about it before where we debated between each other as when we were kids, right? Because we were ruthless with each other. Yeah. If one of us said, like, we both wanted to be right, plus our other friend groups, right, with Logan and Taylor and all those guys, where we wanted to be right in every one of our situations, every one of our arguments, but we knew if we were wrong, we would accept that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not even like the fact of, like saying that we are good critical thinkers. It's like the fact that we even have conversations about critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like most people don't like.
They don't even know what that is, dude.
I saw a video the other day of this lady. She got pulled over by a policeman, and he's telling her like to ask for registration. She was going down a one-way, going the wrong direction, and speeding at the same time. So the cop's like, license, registration, and she's like, wouldn't roll down her window. She's like, get away from me, you're scaring me, like whatever. I'm like, what? And then he's like, ma'am, please give me your registration, whatever. And she's like, for like 10 minutes, she keeps on just yelling at him, like not rolling down her window. He's like, ma'am, I'm gonna break your window if you don't, whatever. Eventually, he breaks the window, puts her in cuffs. Like she's screaming. She's like, what did I do? He's like, failure to provide ID to an officer after committing a crime is a offense. So that's what you're being jailed for. She's like, what did I do wrong? And he's like, I just told you. He's like, you failed to show ID, whatever. And she's like, just kept on asking, what did I do wrong? And like to me, I was like, I was happy to see her getting arrested because she's being dumb, but it was still infuriating that there's people that don't have thinking skills, that like can't comprehend what's going on. I'm like, how are people like that? It made me mad inside because I was like, how do you get that bad?
Yeah,
like,
it's frustrating because you hope all good for humanity, and that you look at Darwinism and that the good genes will survive and that the others will fade out. Right? But there has to be those that fade out, right? That don't reproduce. Nowadays in our society, it's been such a easy commodity to survive that you're not surviving anymore. And that's where you see now higher rates of of self-deletion, right? Where you see this over time, and it's like now that is shifting into, instead of surviving on food and water, which is what people used to do, they had to hunt to get food, and they had to find good sources of water and avoid illness. Instead of that, now it's mental, right? You have to mentally be strong-willed, and those genes will survive. Those people, the ones who are mentally strong, are going to be the ones who carry on, reproduce, and have a better line, because we've already established that now we have enough food, we have enough water, that we don't need to survive. Now our survival skills is just strictly inside of your own mind, inside of your own thinking ability, right? And so then it comes down to that, and it's like, okay, these people who cannot think clearly, and it's not that they can't, it's that they don't understand how, right? Because I think everyone has the ability. Yes, there is a gene that allows you to probably process information faster, just like someone can run faster, right? Like has some sort of gene that they can run, like Usain Bolt, right?
It's what we've talked about, the nature versus nurture.
Yeah,
things.
there's a little bit of both in between it, right? But one of them can overtake another, right? Where you can allow your nature to be suppressed if your nurture is handled in such a way.
I would almost say, I think in those regards of like, not with intelligence, I'd say that's definitely more nurture than nature. I'm 90% sure of that.
I think so too, dude.
I mean, I've never once met somebody that I think is not very intelligent and then met their parents. And like every time I've met someone that's not very intelligent, I meet their parents, like, okay, adds up.
Yeah.
Like, it adds up.
Yeah.
And anytime you meet someone really smart, you go meet their parents and they seem really intelligent. Like, they seem like they're worth listening to. So, like, I think it's mainly whether your parents were critical thinkers or.
But so you're talking about, but that relates directly to genetics as well, which is nature, right? Because you're saying parents, you look at their parents, well, their parents, yeah, they taught them in a way, but also they gave those genes the same way. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think if the smart parent had you, then you got adopted to a less intelligent parent, you're not going to be near. I think the nurturing part of what they teach you after you're born is more important.
I 100% agree. They did a study before where two of the same parents brought in they're like scientists, and they want to do like basically a nurture study. And so they had their kid, and they wanted to also bring a monkey in, a baby monkey, and raise them both the same exact way and see if they could raise the intelligence of the monkey to the intelligence of the human being, the baby. As they did this study, as the study went on, they realized that the baby was falling behind, right? The baby wasn't walking as fast as other babies. The baby wasn't talking as fast as other babies. The baby was actually taking the nature of the monkey. Instead of the monkey taking the intelligence of the baby, no, it swapped. The baby lost intelligence because the nurture of being in the same environment of this monkey brought its intelligence level down. And so they had to cut the study because they didn't want their own kid to be messed up because it was raised with a monkey. Yeah. So they cut the study off because it started going in such a bad direction that they didn't want to ruin their kid.
Yeah.
And so that the kind of stuff. But then you can also say, like, because that's the thing, monkey see, monkey do, right? Then you can also bring in the fact that now if you had 10 children all raised the same way with one monkey added in, now that monkey's intelligence level will increase, right? Because now it sees the nature that it is raised in, or the nurture that it is raised in, is with 10 other human beings. And so then those 10 will feed off of each other, and then the monkey will then feed off of it as well. And so it comes in the supply, like, of how intelligent people are. So that's where, you surround yourself around more intelligent people, you'll likely be more intelligent, right? Which kind of makes sense, right? Where you see you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? So that works digitally as well, right? So for instance, like Joe Rogan, dude, I hung out with Joe Rogan since 2017, right? And I've hung out with him for a while, and I would say he's a pretty intelligent guy, a critical thinker, and I think that's established more of my critical thinking skills as well. And all of this stuff, it adds up because when you look at these people who aren't as critical thinkers, look who they're hanging around with or who they were taught.
You say you hung out with Joe Rogan? Is that what I heard?
Hanging out with Joe Rogan. Maybe that was...
We got to clear the air here.
I was hanging out with him on a podcast, like listening to the podcast.
Okay.
That's what I mean. That's why I said it works digitally as well.
It works digitally. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
How you're combining.
No. Yeah.
I just couldn't let it slide.
Yeah.
I ain't no yes man around here.
I understand. I didn't go hang out with him. No.
If I was, yeah, guys, I just got back from the grocery store. My Ferrari. You know, call me out. I hear. I've been hanging out with Joe Rogan since 2017. Hold on.
No, I said digitally.
You did? Okay, I see what you're saying now.
I said it works digitally as well. You hang out with 5 people, or the average of 5 people hang out with the most.
Gotcha.
It works digitally as well. So Joe Rogan was talking in my head since 2017 for 3 hours a day. Okay, maybe 2 hours a day because I work. I would listen to him when I worked out, right? So how many hours of that information was in my head that I got to then have the ability to think, right? Not only Joe Rogan, people that he brought on, but obviously he is a very curious individual. And so I think having him digitally in my head, talking to me every single day for 2 hours a day, helped myself gain the ability of more critical thinking, more curiosity. And so then it comes down to education, right? So in a sense, nowadays with the digital atmosphere that we have, the digital environment that we have, now you can have mentors that are the best of the best. Like Joe Rogan's the best of the best. And he can be a mentor in your life instead of your teacher, right? Instead of your professor, whoever they may be, because they didn't do anything. Like how many professors actually go out and are like Joe Rogan successful? Like Alex Hormozy, like Iman Gadzhi. How many of those guys, how many of your professors are like those? I had one.
That's also because obviously we would prefer, after now we're older, we'd also prefer to be taught by somebody who's more successful in life rather than somebody who has more knowledge in history or English or something like that. But that's also not what they advertise or provide. So, going into classes, you don't expect them to be successful people. You expect them to excel in whatever thing they're teaching you. So it's not that they're giving bad teachers. It's that they're teaching the wrong thing.
Exactly.
And then,
so that's the indoctrination of it.
Yeah.
Is the fact that where is the information that they're teaching us coming from? Right? Why? Because these teachers, they learned from something. And they learn from something. And the indoctrination has started, and it continues to compound in indoctrinating the youth into these ideas and beliefs that may not be aligned with the certain values in our culture, right? So, for instance, there was a documentary. So I guess it's Native American History Month or something?
I don't know.
I think it's something like that. I think it's Native American History Month. I don't know. I was on the plane back just now, right? Just landed. On the plane back, I was watching this documentary with Iman Gadzhi about education. Well, I then see this documentary about American Indians. And it's the history of the United States, but from the perspective of the American Indians, right? And so I started watching this. And as I'm watching this documentary, you realize how the U.S. government, Abraham Lincoln, how he indoctrinated the American Indians and how they took the children. They literally went into Indian tribes, took children out of there, put them in schools to civilize them, right? To make them fit into society and the American culture, right? Which I guess can be good, can be bad, but the way that the school system works is an indoctrinating system, and it is so perfect in a fact that it can take children now, because after years it has been, separated. Now people listen to the government. Dude, you don't know how many red lights in Pittsburgh say no right turn on red lights. Or all the street lights, in Texas, it's a red light, we're going to take a right turn.
Yeah.
Almost all of them in Pittsburgh say no right turn on red. I'm like, fuck this rule. It's a stupid ass rule.
I know I've seen some of those here, some roads have that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what. I feel like there has to be it's not just.
No, and everything comes down. That's where our critical thinking works. Whereas other people don't think about that. They see sign, they follow sign.
Yeah.
No right turn on red. I cannot turn. My girlfriend, she's like, no, Jake, don't turn. I'm like, what? I mean, there's no cars at all.
Yeah.
I always right turn on red. There's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be able to, right? So I do, and guess what? I didn't get arrested. I didn't get pulled over. Nothing bad happened. I didn't die, right? Which a lot of people think, oh my gosh, we break a rule, it's gonna be all over. I break rule. I do. I break a ton of rules. All of us break a ton of rules because a lot of rules were created in a way in which it doesn't really make sense, Sure. And so it's just like this critical thinking skills, education, all of it. It's interesting. I hopefully sparked an interest in maybe you guys that don't think critically. Maybe you just like watch or listen or whatever to whatever authority says. So another thing is like, for instance, like when it's authority, when it's someone with a badge, right, or like a lifeguard at a pool, when they tell you something, like take it, but you don't have to listen. Like you can hear them, like okay, I hear you, but you don't have to follow orders, right? Like mindlessly follow orders. Like think for yourself. Should I follow this rule? Right? All that sort of stuff. I don't know. That's just maybe my opinion. Maybe you think differently. If you do think differently and you follow all the rules and you think everyone should to fit in society, comment below. And the world are going to ostracize you and all point fingers at you. No, I'm just kidding. But if you don't think that way and you think like, yeah, we probably need critical thinking skills, then hit that subscribe button because we're here every single Monday and Friday and we'll continue to be until we hopefully have enough critical thinking skills to establish that maybe this needs to improve and progress. But we'll get there. So thank you guys for watching, joining, viewing. As always, talk to you next one. Peace.